Everyone relax. This is TOFOP. I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Wil Anderson. Hello and thank you for watching.
And when you last were with us, we were going to have a AI
tease
transcript. Or no, was it an AI synopsis of an episode?
A podcast
PramSport?
episode.
Yeah.
A podcast
Which is an episode we actually did probably a decade ago.
Yeah.
And
so Mike has gone away.
We took the simple concept of what PramSport is, which is an adult-sized pram that you use as luxury transport. So the initial pitch of...
I don't think you need to explain. It's very obvious.
Is it?
What PramSport is.
Yeah. Well, I did tell people about it at dinner on Friday night, and they're like, I don't understand. Is it a sport? I'm like, no. PramSport. It's a play on transport.
Actually, you know what? Sport is confusing
It's very confusing. Adult-sized pram that you can use to travel from one place to another at a slow, relaxing
like
pace.
a rickshaw, but a pram.
Yes, a pram where you can play your own music and you can, like you get treated like a giant baby.
What about PramShaw?
PramShaw? What's the
like
pun?
a rickshaw, but PramShaw. PramShaw.
Pram? Sure.
Pram, sure.
Yeah, I like it.
Say sure to a PramShaw pram.
Yeah, there you go. There's the jingle. Dun, 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 dun. Is that the crack that back jingle? I'm just repurposing. Anyway, how'd you go, Mike?
Crack that pack.
PramShaw. Oh, fucking hell.
Let me check. Let's check I got the brief right here. So last episode, Charlie, you were saying, can we get more out of our TOFOP IP, basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Will was saying, one day there'll be AI that you can feed in stuff and it will just give you a podcast episode and you can automate this. Is that right?
Correct.
Well, yeah. I mean, that'll do if that's what you've done.
Yeah. What have you done, Mike? You sound a bit panicked. I could see Mike tugging his collar. Let me just get this straight, fellas.
Mate, we have no expectations. We're very happy with whatever we're about to...
This is not Shark Tank.
whatever bit of bullshit's about to happen, just set it up and play it for us.
All right. Okay. So I've got that podcast episode. I have generated it, but I have not listened to it yet.
What
so
I would love
the first time with
personally is if you took the idea of PramSport and then were able to generate a podcast that was about the concept of PramSport. Is that possibly something that you could do without having listened to it?
Let's have a listen now.
Okay.
All right. So you're curious about dealing with the cold, right?
Yeah.
And
hang on. So just pause for 1 second. Just pause. Stop. Mike, stop. Are we listening to two AI voices right now?
Yes.
Fuck me.
Yeah, okay, so this is two AI voices who are doing a podcast about PramSport.
An idea that we came up with 10 years ago and just fed into Google minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what I would like to hear. If it's possible we could hear that, that's what I would actually really like to hear.
Right, okay. We'll see where it goes. We're
going to deep dive into where people are just kind of brainstorming ways to stay warm. It's pretty wild.
Okay.
But that's what we do here, right?
Yeah.
We try to extract some useful insights from these seemingly random chats. See what we can pull out.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, let's see.
It is really fascinating how this conversation gets at this universal human experience.
Oh, yes.
The need for warmth and comfort.
Especially in winter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially during winter, yeah.
And they jump right in.
Yeah.
The speaker's talking about wearing 7 puffers.
Wow.
In Melbourne's winter.
Okay.
They even compare themselves to Maggie Simpson. Can you picture it?
That might
7
be me.
puffers.
Oh,
That's
no,
a lot of puffers.
I know, right?
But it does raise a question. Is this just about warmth? Or is it about this deeper desire for security and cocooning, especially in a challenging, urban environment like Melbourne?
Okay, that's an interesting take.
Yeah.
And then they bring up a baby all bundled up in like a puffer sleeping bag hybrid.
Oh, wow.
We did.
Honestly, where can I get one of those for myself?
I know. The ingenuity is impressive, but it also speaks to that fundamental need for warmth and security that we associate with infancy.
Now, this excerpt doesn't actually include it.
All right.
But earlier in the conversation, they were talking about adult-sized prams.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So then when someone mentions this baby in its super snug sleeping bag,
yeah,
another person jokingly suggests combining the two.
Okay.
Like, get pushed around in a sleeping bag for ultimate warmth.
So combine the adult pram idea
Yes.
with the ultimate baby sleeping bag. You've got to admire the creativity.
Yeah.
It's not.
How are you guys feeling about this?
I mean,
I'm
that's a
starting
better.
to like it.
I'm actually like, this is a
It's
good idea.
Yeah.
The way they say it sounds
Sounds better.
like really.
Wow. Fuck, man. That is
Because
so
I-
convincing. That is so convincing.
Because I entered the transcript, it's like commenting on your episode. So I
Yeah.
thought it would give it like you gave it, but it's actually
No, it's like
talking
two people doing
reviewing
a
an
review of
episode.
the episode.
And making it sound better. That our idea sounded better. I didn't know where it was going to begin with, but it actually they brought the threads together quite well.
Yes.
I'll skip through it a bit. Should I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
See where
just-
it goes?
see where it goes.
How long does it go
It's
for?
10 minutes.
Like
It's 10
like
minutes.
10
long.
minutes. I mean,
10
we don't have to do the whole
No.
thing, but
All right, let me just skip through, see if this gets weirder. Hold on.
Yeah.
Not just about warmth anymore. Really silly idea. Point to a desire for more playful, inclusive about how we approach winter, exercise, and even
Skipping
community.
through.
Mind of what if thinking.
Yeah.
Where the impossible suddenly becomes possible. Who wouldn't want to be chauffeured around
Right.
in a giant heated sleeping bag, right?
Exactly. It's more than just the comfort
sounding more
aspect, though.
TOFOP
There's a
than
desire for connection and perhaps even a bit of escapism.
Oh, good.
Well, exactly.
What about sustainability?
That's a good question.
Could these comfort vehicles actually be eco-friendly?
That's a great question, and it's one worth exploring
This is a
further.
great question.
Imagine if these vehicles were powered by renewable energy, right, and achieving peak
I'm skipping through.
physical performance. But what if there's a growing segment of the population that's looking for something different?
Something more inclusive, less focused on individual achievement,
Yeah.
and more about having fun and connecting with others.
Exactly.
Wow.
PramSport could be a way to reclaim exercise as a social activity, something that brings people together.
All right, I'll leave it there.
yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Oh wow.
So-
That was
Theoretically,
yeah.
we could record Two Guys, One Cup, TOFOP, and Philosophy, and then on Tuesday just have AI comment on the
Just do a
episode.
review episode
Saves us having to record a
of the
fourth
show.
show.
Yeah. I mean,
Because we were talking about doing it ourselves, but fuck it. Like, AI's doing a better job.
I don't think that AI is doing a better job necessarily, but I think what would be funny for us to do, maybe this is a good Patreon piece of content, is to do it like we just did then, but actually go through. I would have loved to hear that whole 10 minutes of what that was. Maybe we should do an episode where we feed the concept of the episode in, get them to review it, and then we can like
Comment on that.
on the reviews.
Comment on the
And
comment.
Comment on the comment.
Wow, let's get fucking super meta. Let's
fucking
do it. It's
go
2025,
through,
baby. It's the year of meta.
This is what
Air horn. Now, it is the last episode of our bulk record,
Yeah.
and so we're going to empty. We will crack that pack, but now let's empty that sack.
Okay.
It's time to get to the mailbag.
That's great, by the way. I love that.
Look, these date way back to October of 2024. So some people have been dying to hear what we think about their correspondence.
Okay, let's get into it.
The first two topics are about the subject of white dog poo.
Okay.
Which has been a persistent. I'd love to hear what the AI has to say about our speculations around why there's no white dog poo anymore.
I mean, I think it would be a good regular segment, particularly with old episodes, to like feed the concept into the AI, get the AI to like spit back their little review, and then for us to review the review would be a fun way to do that.
It's also a good tool to refine our ideas, I think. This is a good use
I mean,
of
because
AI.
they were actually, I was
Giving
like,
us good
I was like,
ideas.
oh
I
yeah,
didn't think about
it is
renewable.
renewable. You're right.
Yeah, I did love how there was a slight lefty-leaning
Yeah.
thing to it. It's like, how can we include diversity and inclusion? It's
And we like that. That's
oh
good.
no, we want to marginalise.
How
Marginalise
can
the
we use this
scapegoat.
for hate? How can we enslave minorities to push the prams?
This is from Hayden. After a questionable departure from my previous company in June, I've been afforded the luxury to travel Eastern and Southern Africa
Beautiful.
before returning in December, when I hope to make it to a live recording in 2025. Hey, it's the meta year, baby. You can find. We'll let you know when those dates are announced. I've enjoyed listening to you both on many long drives. Something about your discussion about white dog poo rings true in Africa also.
Okay.
As hyenas don't just scavenge meat from kills, but also their bones. So hardly anything is left. And an easy way to identify their scat is the distinctive white color, which you and many listeners also reminds me of growing up in the 80s. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to share this fun fact about white dog poo.
There you go. White hyena poo.
Well, because I think that was one of the conclusions, right?
Yeah, they're eating bones.
There was more calcium in dog food. They used to put a calcium supplement in dog food in the 80s, so the poo was more white, but they've taken that out now.
Yeah, but the hyenas are eating bones.
Real calcium.
Yeah.
This is from Doug. Some brief contributions. Regular dog poo turns white when it dries out. So if people in the past were less conscientious about picking up their dog's poo, then in summer you would see plenty more white dog poo.
That does make sense.
Thankfully, people aren't as shit about their dog shit.
Oh, yeah, nice. Good. Well done,
Doug. He's going to tag on just a little crack that pack suggestion. Arnott's acquired various local biscuit manufacturers over their path to Aussie Bicky dominance. Consequently, there are actually regional varieties of various biscuits. For example, Ginger Snaps, which have 4 recipes which differ state by state.
Wow.
I didn't know that, did you?
No.
You could acquire a packet of each and
so Australian though, like it's like all the train lines with different gauges and sizes and stuff. Like our Ginger Snaps, we make them different in Queensland, mate.
As a Queenslander, I favour those of my childhood and sadly can't subject my teeth to the dunkers they sell here in South Australia. That's a nice kind of like pejorative for a biscuit. A dunker.
Yeah,
it's only good in tea.
Yeah, he's all right, but yeah, he's a dunker.
This is from Terra Rome, who I believe that is his real name. He's been on a few of the Friday live streams. Hey guys, 2 parts. Part 1. I just finished the ridiculously long 5-month, 20,000-kilometre book tour around Australia for my book, Are You Right, Mate? My adventure bio about a ridiculously long walk around Australia in aid of suicide prevention.
Okay.
The book tour was not worth it.
What?
If I just, no, I haven't finished the sentence.
Oh, God.
If I just wanted to sell books and talk.
Okay.
However, it was totally worth it to catch up with many wonderful friends and make heaps more. And thank you for your excellent company for the ridiculously long journey. You have been funny, thought-provoking, compassionate, and altogether entertaining. Some of Will's most recent philosophy interviews and book interviews were heart-tugging, and a couple of times I had to pull over and wipe my eyes. Thanks for always being real.
Oh, okay.
You're a real one.
All right.
You should go on John Berenthal's podcast, Real Ones.
Who's John Berenthal?
The Punisher.
Oh.
Walking Dead guy.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. You probably don't remember.
No.
Previous episode. He has a podcast called Real Ones.
Yeah.
Where you go on and you be real.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I do remember you telling me about that.
You're a real one. Part 2, Terra Rome has met Keanu Reeves.
No.
Many years ago.
Uh-huh.
I was slumming it on a yacht in Marina Mirage on the Gold Coast. And I would work out in their gym. I like to go around 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. when it was almost empty. So we're talking in 97, 98 before social media. One day, I walked in, but was stopped by the manager, asked me to come back later. I couldn't. So he asked if I recognized the guy working out alone in the empty gym. I had no idea who he was. After they had a quick chat, I was allowed to train. Over the next few weeks, I saw the same guy a few times. We exchanged small pleasantries and occasionally spotted each other. Will, that's when you use free weights and one person stands ready to assist when the lifter can't safely put the bar back. Do you find that patronizing? He tells you what spotting is?
I absolutely, because I had no idea when he said it.
Then he stopped going. Jump forward to the Gold Coast premiere of The Matrix. I'm sitting in the center of the theater, dragged along by my friend. I look up and see my gym buddy on the screen.
Yeah.
Turned out it was Keanu, staying on Main Beach, training at the same gym while they were shooting indoors at the Warner Brothers studios. Oh, that's interesting. I would have thought it was Fox Studios in Sydney.
Yeah, that's where I thought they did a lot of it.
Or maybe they had both studios, yeah. Anyway, I heard you mention buying his new book of Elsewhere. I have the 3-volume set of Berserker comics, and I'm heading down to Gippsland in December, January to write another book. I wonder, if you want to borrow my Berserker comics and take a break from your usual backlog of reading, grab a coffee and talk about the book Elsewhere, come find me.
Okay, all right.
So, won't happen. That sounds so on brand for what we imagine Keanu to be like, right? That, he's not going to, sure, that guy can come work.
If he doesn't know who I am.
And also just like one manager as opposed to a team of, he's still pretty famous in 98. Like pre-Matrix, he's still fucking
Keanu but he was Reeves. About to become like
mega famous.
Yeah.
But that checks out. The thing that doesn't check out is him working out. But I guess he's doing the Matrix.
I mean, the Matrix, he would have had to,
stay limber. Makes me like him more.
Did you see that our friend, when we're recording this, our friend Dolph Lundgren is clear of cancer.
It's amazing.
Which is great.
He punched it, I believe. He punched it out of his own body. The doctor showed him where it was, and he just fucking kicked the shit out of it. This is from... I couldn't make... Oh, no. I label each letter to give myself a little reminder.
Yes.
And thankfully, I said omit name.
Oh,
I was about to do
good.
it. We had a discussion about an ethicist, what an ethicist does, and
yes.
does TOFOP need an ethicist? What's up, boys? In your Beyond 2000 episode, you began to wonder what ethicists are, where they work, and what they are paid. I've spent some time in universities, and I've known them to work in the research institutions in universities. These are usually set up under the pretense of having something important to investigate, usually because there is grant money available from government and companies interested in the outputs of the research. They're usually attached to humanities departments and law faculties, those places where you ask, what should we do? And the members earn standard university wages. For example, glassdoor.com.au says that an Australian university professor earns a median wage of approximately 195,000 per year. You might want to know that a lowly research associate can earn as little as 40 to 60,000 per year, and there are casual employees who earn even less than that. Becoming an ethicist is typically a matter of having a degree and being good at it, and having a senior member of the staff that likes you. A little bit of bloody, what do you call that?
What are the ethics of that, though?
Yeah, what do we call that?
That feels like an ethical dilemma right there.
You failed. The part of the interview is like, what do you call it?
There's this person inside, there's a conflict of interest.
But there's a name for it. It's not nepotism. It's a similar thing when you like jobs for the boys. There's a term for it. I can't remember what it is. Glad handling or something like that. No, it's not that. Anyway. Ethics units are taught across the humanities. I've seen them in theology and philosophy schools, as well as in law schools, where they talk about legal ethics as though they can have their own right and wrong. Surprise, surprise. But the ethics in any kind of soft philosophy, I'd like you to know that I've enjoyed listening to your philosophical and theological debates over the years. I have a PhD in philosophy. I studied theology at Oxford, and I've also got a law degree. I could have been an ethicist. I've also written academic articles about AI. So I could have been an ethicist that wrote about sex robots. Maybe I will one day. So what do you reckon? Seems like a good candidate to be our ethicist.
It seems overqualified, I might say, for the position.
PhD.
Yeah, I think. I felt like we were going to get
just take any
comedic,
ethicist.
Yeah,
I get you. Like Rodney Rood, our ethicist. Is that what you were kind of thinking?
I'm rapt that there's someone who's genuinely qualified for the position who's applied.
I guess you're right, because the question will come down to, do we have genuine ethical questions? Like PramSport. Let's take, for instance, this idea of
what are the ethics of PramSport?
There's environmental impact.
Yeah.
Labor
laws, health and safety in the workplace absolutely would be an issue, and of the consumers.
Yeah, is there
regulation?
Is there some kind of ethical dilemma around the idea of like infantilizing or creating an infantilized
I think we would have to explore the ethics of that, and of someone pushing another, using manual labor in the service of someone that they're not being exploited.
I guess we have to discuss wages around that as well, and work conditions, and what's covered,
and what they're called, and what they have to put up with. Are they allowed to be yelled at, or?
I don't think you're allowed to be yelled at. Is that ever like?
No, but I mean by cuss. Are we?
What is the
if they're out there, some people would treat Uber drivers or taxi drivers or whatever badly as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do that, if two people want to get in, if it's late at night and there's a couple that want to get in the pram, because are there two people prams?
I guess there could be couples pram.
Yeah,
Yeah. In my idea,
are they allowed to make out in the pram?
I guess. It's a.
And what's your ethical?
Well, you're allowed to make out in an Uber, so yeah.
I know, but I don't think you're meant to out of politeness. I think you're meant to because the driver can see you.
Yeah, out of politeness, but I don't think there's any legal
But this is more ethical rather than legal.
But how does that impact the business owner?
Well, we want to know what our employees are able to we should be able to say to them, this is inappropriate, and you're
so
allowed
hypothetically,
to say no.
like if Uber had a policy which is no sexual
you're not allowed to
interactions
crack on your
and so you're
customers.
But so you're charging the Uber driver with intervening if a couple are getting amorous to say that's inappropriate behavior. I don't know. Then it's got its own ethical dilemma. It's like, are you now impinging on someone's freedom, consensual physical
in the
contact?
Pram, firstly, I imagine you would have a rule that it's no sex with the customers, right?
Potentially, I mean, the way I imagine PramSport is generally people are calling it when they've had a big night out. Yeah. They want to be picked up from a bar or a nightclub.
Right? They could be sleep. You want to be able to trust your PramSport operator.
I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but my initial idea was that because the idea behind it is you want to be scooped up from your bar stool or the nightclub and carried to the pram.
Yeah, like your parents would carry you in from sleep in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, we'd have to get physically capable, and I was saying ex-Russian weightlifters or something, but dressed like Victorian nannies.
Yeah, but what are the ethics of that?
What do you mean?
Like getting ex-Russian weightlifters and dressing them as nannies. Is there...
am I being discriminatory if someone is not an ex-Russian weightlifter? If they can prove that, well, okay.
And are we dressing them as nannies? Is that problematic?
Well, it's a uniform. Is that problematic?
I don't know, but could it be read as problematic? Is it?
There is a physical requirement that you need to be able to lift up to a certain weight
but just
class.
because people are now you're stereotyping all Russians as being
I was less enlightened when we came up with PramSport. Nowadays, I'm open to anyone who can lift. Yeah. There's got to be a limit, right? So I think, then that becomes an issue. It's what if you're someone who's overweight?
We've got a weight restriction, do we? Now?
Yeah. Well, you can't ask an ordinary.
I think it's got to be inclusive, though, right?
Or you got to pay extra.
Oh, so if we're making overweight people pay extra, are we?
Well, yeah. I think that what's going to be by weight. Because
what are the ethics of that then? That you don't think that
overweight
people are facing
this potential ethicist
discrimination
who I can't name because they want to keep their job.
Well, which is good. That's a good start.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that proves.
I trust that. Yeah.
Well, they finish off by saying, "I've also been listening to you the whole time, from my days as an arts faculty stoner to a partier to my time at Oxford." I mean, what a journey!
Look at that.
This is overqualified when you were my dirty little secret amongst the mad, bad, and the sad. You may also be interested to know that I am 1 degree of separation from the Pope, or maybe 2 these days.
What?
I don't know what the fuck that means.
What?
I know people who will pray for you, and some of them are probably very good at it.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
that last bit made me feel a bit weird.
What should we name our ethicist? Ethicist X? Just because they've asked not to be named.
Ethicist. No, that doesn't work.
Ethicist.
Big A.
The Big A. All right.
The Big A.
All right. The Big A. You're hired
Yeah.
on a trial basis.
Yeah.
If you have any opinions about PramSport,
an ethical take
just
on
give us
PramSport.
a breakdown
whatever
of the
you would like to,
potential quandaries.
Yeah, whatever your ethical dilemmas are that have been raised around our discussion of PramSport, I'd love to hear them.
I would have thought we had had more people putting their hands up. We had so many intern applications.
I know, but it is a specialist position.
I guess so. This next bit of mail, let's going to double check that they're okay with me naming. We got lots of biscuit recommendations. Normally I put these together, but we're just going to spread them out through the letters section. Hey guys, loving the biscuit content. This is from Catherine. This may be outside the spirit of the thing, but how do you feel about freshly baked? While I'm in Melbourne and happy to drop bickies to the studio for the ultimate judgment, I get that some people prefer not to eat stuff from a kitchen they know nothing about, which is fair enough. Maybe once Wil is a little less romantic. No, it's not romantic. I read it as romantic because I don't have my glasses on. Nomadic.
Yeah.
But this is the word.
I'm more nomadic than romantic.
I've literally had to put my phone an inch from my face so I can read this. Maybe once Wil is less nomadic, or if Charlie feels inclined to encourage Iona's sugar addiction, we, the listeners, could send recipes for our favourites. I think no is the safest bet. We can't take we can't take biscuits from unapproved sources. We just don't know.
But that suggestion, the recipe. So
recipe, yes.
So once I am like set up in a new place, because I do like to bake, I would be happy to receive a recipe.
Would
like
you
a
bake
written
for
recipe,
Crack That Pack?
and I would bake for Crack That Pack.
Oh, that's awesome.
We could do an episode where I would do like a series of listener recipes, and they would be the 4 biscuits of the day, and we could try them.
But that, oh God, we're going to have to bring the ethicist on this. They're going to have to trust, though, that you got the recipe exactly right.
Well, that's part of but it's me cooking all 4 versions.
Yeah.
So it would be an equal comparison. We'd only be ranking them within themselves.
So I had to make a cake for Jem's birthday. She's GF, so I had to make a gluten-free
Grand final.
cake. Yeah, girlfriend.
She's
Turned
a
wife.
girlfriend. Okay.
And like ordinarily when I'm baking, this is the thing I always talk about. I'm always trying to swap out like health, swap in healthier ingredients. But this time I was like, it's a birthday cake, so I'm going to go all out.
Yeah, put some gluten in. Put more gluten in.
No, it was still gluten-free flour, but everything else was like caster sugar, butter, the whole lot. And it tasted delicious. It was so good.
Of course it did.
It was amazing.
Of course it did.
But like watching it, like
you're like, well, imagine if you had the thing you regularly have, but good.
yeah, but good. But it was like what I didn't realize. It's like 90% sugar and butter.
Yes.
Like when you whip all that shit together. And I followed the recipe exactly because they say separate wet and dry ingredients and allow this to get to room temp. Like I was really diligent, and it worked. It worked a fucking treat. It was amazing. And now I'm like, I'm just going to give up on this healthy baking thing. Like you're baking a treat, just make it a treat, man. And then like it can be healthy. Other stuff can be. Just give Iona healthy food the rest of the time. And then when you're baking treats, just make them real good baked treats.
There is something about there's a cake shop that I've been going to recently that like does specialty cakes, and they're only open on the weekend, and so it's only if I'm ever in that area on a weekend I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a cake at this cake shop. And it is a level above, like I'd rather have one piece of that cake a week than have like a piece of cake every day. It's just, and yes, there's no way any of it's good for you.
No.
It's cake. It's cake that you would give a royal person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's cake out of a book.
But don't you find because I know you've often spoken about, like often as if this is one of your like core tenets.
It might be.
But icing is like cake is the delivery system for icing.
Oh, yeah.
So as part of this birthday cake, I made proper butter icing with cocoa, and it was too much. Like I found the icing to be overwhelming, and everything was proportionate. Like I followed the ingredients to a T. So it was like, I think 1.5 cups of sugar mixed with 250 grams of butter with the cocoa, but it was too much. Like
what I like about this fancy cake shop is that like the proportions are very good in that like the icing is a lot, but there's not a lot of it.
Yeah, right. So that's what I think you need, right? Like good quality icing, but not thick.
Yeah.
Like,
they've done that thing of going, this is the perfect amount of the indulgence that you need.
Yeah.
And any more would actually make it worse, not better.
It's disciplined.
Because also a lot of the time the icing's just there to cover up the cake as well. Like, right? Like
it's decorative.
That people do treat the cake as the delivery system for the icing, whereas like this fancy cake shop is like, nah, this is all. You should be enjoying all of this.
What kind of cake, can I ask, or is it different slices?
They're different slices of different cakes. So
you just go in and get a takeaway
slice? Yeah.
And where do you eat it? At home? Or on the way, or outside?
Bit of both.
In the gutter. Like a fucking raccoon.
I get them to put it in the fancy box as if I'm going to take it home. But
just tear it open in the store. You scuttle off to the corner, shrieking. And stuff it into
the
mouth.
worst thing is, like last time, that's kind of what I did do.
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
And then had some on the tram on the way home, and then had a little bit at home.
And then you're just filled with
It
shame.
was a progressive meal.
All right, where are we? Oh, shit. I didn't realize we've got another ethicist application. I thought we only had one.
All right.
Okay, here we go. I just won't. They haven't asked to be not named, but I just won't for
out of
let's be
ethical,
consistent, ethical considerations. Fan and ethicist adjacent. Hello, Wil and Charlie. Any associated mics and friends. So I'm writing in with what might be a unique perspective.
Okay.
It's a little nod to our other podcast.
Okay.
Two Guys, One Cup.
Interesting.
I'm a Canadian listener of a year and a bit. I dipped in with Never Not Funny.
Okay.
What I don't understand. Were you on Never Not Funny? Is that how they got here?
Jimmy Pardo's podcast, Never Not Funny.
But how do you get...
Well, I had Jimmy on my 300th episode of Philosophy, and he spoke about it on Never Not Funny. So I'm going to say that probably.
Right. I don't watch or have any real interest in sports on their face. I think meant face value, right?
Yeah, sure.
Listening to people tell stories about their favorite teams, hearing about relational dynamics among sports fans, and why they love niche aspects of various sports is just one more way to learn about people and the world around us.
Oh, yeah.
That was sitting in my scraps for a while. Well, Canadians, do they know how to speak? What's going on?
I mean, just different language.
Vernacular. That was sitting in my scraps for a while.
Yeah.
Also, wrong show. You'd mentioned ethicist in TOFOP episode, Home and Away actor found dead, robot attached to penis. That was an actual title. See, James Fosdyke stopped naming the shows. And I thought, well, I think we'll get some improvement there. Turns out Mike is of the same mind. I wanted to say put a pin in that because I can speak on teleodonics and its applications another time if you'd like. Butt phrasing, etc., etc. I have a diploma in social services, a certificate in community support. I do grassroots activism in my community and also a little voice work and sex work on the side.
Okay.
On the off chance this is read on air to be mocked, I hope that you all at least cut out the most identifiable aspects of this. No, we're not going to mock you, and I have omitted your name. I'm glad I did that.
Okay.
While not strictly an ethicist, sorry. Again, I'm reading this off my phone and I'm really struggling to read the words.
I know, like literally the phone is getting closer and closer to your face as the email goes on.
I've an intersectional lens and use multidisciplinary approaches where possible. Capacity building, increasing autonomy, and building sustainable supports are my priorities in interactions, and I approach things with a recognition of lived experiences and the nuances of harm reduction and self-education.
Now that sounds like some
PramSport.
That is like absolutely what we would print off in our terms and conditions about the values of our company.
Yeah, at least to get us to do some not greenwashing, but it's the equivalent of
no, that's
diversity
right.
washing.
Yeah, if you could just write all that down, copy that down. That's our
put
principles.
Our press release.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yada, 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 maladaptive coping strategies, blah, 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 upstream services. I'm sure you get the point.
Yeah.
By no means am I claiming to be the definitive expert on anything or that my unique perspective is absolute. It comes with various insights born out of lived experience in trauma, therapy, training, medication, and integration of new ideas. It has blind spots I hope to overcome, including culturally, hence listening to Two Guys, One Cup, and may not correct for all as well as I would like, but that's impossible, right?
It's impossible to correct them all. It's the actual just acknowledgement that they exist in the first place that's a good start, and then I guess...
And then you adapt
or try to change or challenge your own perceptions.
Right. I was taught to fall fast, fall often, learn, and try again, and I love hearing and learning from all manner of unique perspectives y'all present in your various media.
Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn how to pick ourselves back up again.
That's or something along those lines. I really fucked that. Yeah. In my head, I knew what you were saying, but I just could not make the words work. If you think at all that the 2 cents of a trans gal on the other side of the world would ever be fun to have in text, I'm happy to pitch in. It's the least I can do for a wonderful group of folks like yourselves and the content you create. Until I get some more commissions anyway. Thank you for being there, being you, and sharing your wonderful selves with the world. Well, we can have multiple ethicists because I think it's going to be dependent on the thing we need advice on, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that firstly, the more ethicists, the better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
I'm sure like Google and stuff have multiple
Yeah.
ethicists.
Because,
right?
I mean, I think you want your ethicists to be challenged by other ethicists as well. Like, that would
fight.
have an ethical showdown. We could
It's like a Monty Python sketch.
Like rap battles,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
two ethicists just trying to out-ethics each other.
A bit of ethicist cleansing? No, it doesn't quite work. Okay, moving on.
I bet they'll have thoughts on that one, though.
This is from Jocelyn Patron. Congratulations on getting a sponsor. It definitely makes me want to drink tequila. One thing that bugs me, though, is that Patron is being mispronounced.
Oh, no.
God. The first syllable is pat, as in put.
Patron.
Patron. Oh, shit.
Patron.
But the second, so I'm saying that fine. But the second should be a hard O.
Patron.
I think I was saying Patron, maybe. Hang on.
No, they're saying hard
No,
O
no,
is
no.
Patron.
No, it's Patron.
It's Patron.
Well, what did I say in the read?
You said Patron.
Okay.
Okay.
So
well,
what's
this
going
person's
on?
But
Patron.
people call
she's
it
saying
Patron.
She's saying it's Patron, like
Yeah.
grown. But is she wrong?
Yeah, it's not Patron.
Thank God.
According to the company.
According to the company.
Yeah, I thought it was
But what
Patron.
would they know?
The company that.
Yeah, what would the company that make it know?
Let's
about
call their
how you
ethicists.
pronounce their
Maybe
name?
they got a
They got it Patron.
Oh, that gave me fucking like chills because I'm still scarred from the Ted Lasso. Do you remember that, Mike? That might have been before your time.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso sponsored
Ted Lasso.
the show
Ted
once,
Lasso.
and I did the read,
Ted Lasso.
and I could not pronounce. What's it? Is it?
Lasso?
I still don't know. Is it Ted Lasso? No, Ted Lasso.
Lasso.
Yeah, I got it wrong every time. Like the amount of fucking emails,
Yeah.
but like phonetically breaking down Lasso, I still couldn't read it. It didn't stick in my mind. All right, so thanks, Jocelyn. You're wrong, but thank you for corresponding.
Yeah. Thank you, Jocelyn.
This is from Adam. Fellas, if you haven't already, you need to watch the doco The Contestant on Disney Plus about
Contestant.
90s Japanese game show. It's fantastic. Would love to know your thoughts on it.
Okay.
And Charlie, you are by far, and then the email cuts off.
Oh,
What do you think happened?
you are by far.
What do you complete that sentence? Charlie,
the
you are
most
by far unqualified,
Charlie.
misspeaking motherfucker
You
on the
are
planet.
by far.
And also, Charlie, you are by far.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm just
No
intrigued.
follow up.
No.
No. And Charlie, you are by far the.
It's hard because the context of why.
Yeah. So give me the
Adam's
lead in
ringing.
again.
Fellas, if you haven't already, you need to watch the doco, The Contestant on Disney Plus, about a 90s Japanese game show. It's fantastic. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Also, Charlie, you are by far
the. No.
I don't
Just
know.
nothing
Nothing
comes,
naturally
does it?
rolls off the back of that.
I'm trying to just fill in the rest of it Mad Lib style, but I've got nothing.
Okay, so this was sent. When was it sent? On the 14th of November. So I think it would have to be leveraging off something we were discussing around what episode came out then. So that was probably the same episode with with sex robots, and we're joking about Home and Away actor gets caught with his dick in a vacuum cleaner.
You are by far and away the funniest person to ever come out of Home and Away.
You are by far the most likely person to be found dead with their dick inside a vacuum.
I mean, mine was nicer.
Yeah. This is interesting. This goes back to a very old discussion we had. I think even last year, maybe 2 years ago. Remember we talked about Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance, and we were both aware of that urban myth that he had to have sex within an hour of coming off stage.
Yes.
And we couldn't work out where that urban myth had started. There was nothing documented online. We spoke to various comedians, Tony Martin, Michael Chamberlain. They all confirmed that they were aware of that rumor, but they also couldn't place it. Turns out it was featured in an episode of Kath and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I've been watching, this is from Aiden. I was watching an episode of Kath and Kim, season 2, episode 4, Obsessions, featuring river dancing heavily, to the point of Kel regaining his mojo through doing the river dance. There's a line in the episode about the tendency to need to have sex as soon as the dance is over. As a 27-year-old, I want you guys to know I would have absolutely no idea what this reference was to had it not been for the podcast. They didn't even say Michael Flatley's name, and I knew exactly what the reference was about.
Yes.
Sincerely, a guy who knows more non-topical pop culture references than topical ones because of your podcast. That's us, right?
Yeah.
So it's clearly in the zeitgeist.
It was.
Yeah.
I think that we can all agree.
It happened. We didn't Mandela effect it.
No.
It was a real thing.
It was a real thing that people at least were talking about it.
That's right. Do you want some... wait, let me just skip ahead. Because the note I've written for myself is Eatery recommends.
Oh, okay.
Okay, must be Melbourne Eateries. This is more for you, I assume. This is from Ben. Hey, fellas, long-time listener, first-time TOFOP sponder. I'm not a medical professional. However, Mum is a nurse and my sister is a paramedic.
Okay, I'll take that.
By association.
Yep.
I've been absolutely loving all the live shows and have been to all of them bar one.
Okay.
It's awesome being in a room full of people who are into the same weird bullshit comedy conversation between two old mates as you are.
They are very fun.
One nice side effect is that they've had is I now have a lovely monthly ritual where I jump on a train to the live show and then treat myself to a dinner after the show somewhere I've never been before.
Okay.
It's been a great way to discover new restaurants as someone who isn't in the city a lot apart from seeing shows. Yes. You know what, Ben? I have also been doing the same routine. In fact, the previous live show, we had a group of friends come to the show and we all went out for a lovely dumpling dinner afterwards. The last live show, I went out for a lovely meal with Chambo after the show. But a few shows before that, I had no friends in the crowd and I was starving after the show. And I was like, well, I'm in Melbourne. I'm in the heart of the city, the cuisine capital of Australia. Yep. Let me go find a delicious restaurant to have a solo meal at. After waiting at one restaurant in a line for about 20 minutes, I'm like, fuck this, I'm too hungry, I can't wait. Barged into another restaurant. I think it was like a Korean barbecue. Got sat at a table, but then it took him another 20 minutes to serve me. I'm like, fuck this. I'm in Melbourne. The heart of fine dining.
Yeah.
You know what I had for dinner that night?
What?
A pie from 7-Eleven.
Yeah. But the best pie
No,
from 7-Eleven.
it was fucking
that
disgusting.
You'll ever have. A
Half-cooked.
Beautiful Melbourne 7-Eleven pie.
It gave me gastro. It was fucked. Hearing Will talk about how living without a fixed address or TV was making him explore the city a bit more, it made me want to ask, do either of you have any recommendations for a good place to eat around Melbourne? 7-Eleven pies. I'd love to add to the list of places to try after the next live show. I don't really. I can never remember the names of places. I mean, there's your classics like Chin Chin and Supper Club and...
There's a place that I've been to a couple of times recently called Lucy Lou, which is also in the city, which is that
after
style
the actress or different?
Not after the actress, but like I think it might be spelled I don't know how she spells.
L-I-U.
Yeah, L-I-U, I think.
Right.
But it's again in that sort of Chin Chin style, kind of modern
Asian fusion
sort of take. But it's great. It got a really good vibe, and the food is delicious.
This is from another Ben, another Crack That Pack suggestion. I imagine you guys are getting several suggestions. We are. Well done.
Indeed.
You got us pegged.
We cracked one pack.
You got us pegged like a middle-aged couple who were trying to spice up their sex life.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But thought I would drop mine in. I'm a few episodes behind, so not sure if you're still doing this segment.
Oh, no, we are.
Every chance we're not.
Don't worry.
There was a biscuit I used to have quite a bit while I was in high school. It's a French biscuit. The branding was Lou. Oh, there we go. Speaking of Lou's, Lucy Lou's. And the biscuit was called Petite E. coli. Sounds like E. coli, right?
I'm sorry,
Small E. coli.
You've got baby E. coli.
Which translates to
the
little schoolboy.
Oh, the little
Put a
schoolboy.
little schoolboy in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's probably why they're not available anymore.
A slightly disturbing name for a biscuit, but don't let that put you off. No, it has.
No, it absolutely has.
It's a delicious butter biscuit. Butter biscuit base with chocolate on top. You used to be able to buy them at supermarkets, but it looks like they're only sold now at French grocery stores. I've seen Asian grocery stores. I've never seen have you ever seen a French grocery store?
Yeah, like they have like cheeses and capers and oils.
Like a deli.
Like a deli, yeah,
Just
like
a deli.
a French style deli. Yeah.
Okay. This is from Nat. Being blessed after a sneeze. This is the subject line.
Bless you.
Thank you. I'm having a debate with people at work who think they have the gall to bless me after a sneeze when they are neither priest nor religious. I would prefer just a simple, I hope you don't get the plague, rather than thinking they're representing the Almighty or have some kind of religious power. Note, I am not religious either, so it may not even work. One guy is not even singing a blessing in the priest-style sermon. Help! Should you or can you bless someone?
Okay, so firstly, I say bless you all the time.
Yep.
And to strangers, and I never have once ever thought that I was blessing the person. I was just saying the two words that we say.
It's common
to
vernacular.
indicate, like, it's just an acknowledgement of, like, I wish you well. Like, I hope you're okay.
Our ethicists can chime in on this one.
Okay, yeah. Is it
a religious dilemma?
You know what? Let's get an ethical take on whether you should say bless you if you're not
is
a
it religious
person.
indoctrination?
Yeah, if you're not a religious person, should you ethically be saying that is actually a good ethical question?
Yeah.
This is a good one to throw over to our team of ethicists we now have working in conjunction with the program.
Because I grew up reading Mad Magazine. Did you ever read Mad Magazine?
Yeah.
So, excuse me. I can't remember the artist's name. Is it Leone? There's a guy who used to do the tiny little cartoons in the margins of Mad Magazine.
Leone.
Not Tia Leone, not Sergio Leone. I can't remember his name. But he would do the little cartoons that would go in the margins of the magazine. And he had a running joke that was always like a building had collapsed and there'd be someone sitting there saying Gesundheit, or, some big event, and the joke being that a sneeze has caused this. And I just became obsessed with the word Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
And so that was my go-to whenever anyone sneezed. And it turns out that not many people know what Gesundheit. Yeah, it's a very old-fashioned thing to say when someone sneezes.
What is Gesundheit
God bless
actually?
you.
So it's just German.
It's just a German.
God bless you.
And I'm a Clausen, so it makes sense that,
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
I mean, what do we want? Do we want to live in a world where people just sneeze and
you just uncommented
and you just
on?
Don't comment on it?
Well, I think that's where the ethical dilemma comes in, right? Like, it's sort of, are you...
Because
it's also like personal boundaries, right? Like, someone sneezes, why are you commenting?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just
Should
fucking
you
stick
just
to yourself.
But I sometimes think it's more in the idea of going, I heard that, and of course I'm okay with that. That's a normal thing that happens. We even have a little ritual around it.
I think if you take all the risk out of human interaction because you don't want to offend someone, then what are we doing here? Like,
what if we started saying God?
Woke
what if
culture.
we started saying Gesundheit or God bless you? Because people have taken God bless you out of it now.
Yeah,
like it used to be, just to be bless you.
Because I think
like if
bless
people
you...
burped, would you say bless you? Like, as in, like if someone burped,
or
would you
farted.
go, bless you? Oh, farted.
No way.
Bless you.
Damn you.
Gesundheit.
Curse you. But I think bless has kind of evolved in terms of its definition anyway. Like, bless my heart. Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
It's not really, it's like, it's
bless.
more of a, yeah.
I
think it has softened. It's not as literal as it used to be. So our advice is, we don't know. What?
Just a slightly different variation on Gesundheit maybe doesn't have the religious overtones. Gesundheit translates to health.
Oh, okay. It just means good health.
Good health.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Everyone should just go to Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Good health.
But then you're commenting on that person's
health.
You're making assumptions around.
Business,
yeah. Fuck
what
you.
their medical history is. Fuck you. Are you being ironic? Are you suggesting I don't have good health because I'm sneezing?
Will, can you remember where you were last week or a couple of weeks ago? Were you in Port Douglas at all?
Was I in Port Douglas?
In the last couple of weeks.
In the last couple of weeks, when we're in this, like, where are we in this?
Like in November.
Oh, in November of, like,
so
we are currently
a couple of weeks from when we're talking.
We're
So 2 months ago, when you're hearing this.
Was I in Port Douglas? Where's Port Douglas?
Queensland? That's Queensland.
I might have done a gig
North
in Port
Queensland.
Douglas. Maybe I did like a gig in Port Douglas.
My girlfriend took our dog for a walk to the beach today, and she saw, and she is very keen on a belly rub from strangers. She's a miniature wire-haired sausage dog called Frankie. Apparently, she ran up to a bloke on 4 Mile Beach.
Yeah.
And he looked a lot like Will. Is it possible that Will was there, or does he have a doppelganger? You would remember being on the beach and rubbing a dog's belly.
I think I would remember, and I don't think I've been to Port Douglas.
And it would have happened in the last couple of weeks of us having this conversation. You couldn't have. Your work commitments would have.
I mean, I did do some North Queensland touring.
When?
Months ago.
He's saying today, though, and he sent this email in late November.
No. I'm going to say that was not
It was Adam
me.
Hills.
Probably was.
All right. Almost there. Carly. All the pods and praise for Willosophy Conchetta ep. That's the subject. I just wanted to drop a line about the pods, but firstly, in particular, Willosophy, the episode with Conchetta. Man, it had laughs, it had giggles, it also had me in literal tears hearing Conchetta's experiences with family violence. I wanted to say, Will, that the way you gave space, validated Conchetta, and had respect for her experience was noteworthy. Family violence is heavy, especially for the victim survivor, and can be hard to talk about, but it really struck a chord as my daily work is with vulnerable families through child protection and family violence is so prevalent. It was also very informative hearing how Conchetta's experience affected her and how she addressed it. On another lighter note, I just wanted to say I enjoy the Sint Biscuit Crack That Back segment and recommend you give the Loca Patisserie white coconut biscuits a go. Ooh. So damn Moorish. I mean, nothing encapsulates the Everon Relax universe quite like that email, right?
That was a real project-style change of pace.
That's right. Final note, I've started listening to Two Guys, One Cup. We're fucking getting it all.
This is nice.
Yeah, I started listening to Two Guys, One Cup during the footy season, mainly because with everything being in the same stream, I had no choice whilst driving and found I really enjoyed it. And my partner got roped into it too and enjoyed it as well. Well, that was our fucking scheme from the go.
Yeah.
Well, if you like us, there's a chance you're going to like our other shows.
Our other thing that we do.
Yeah.
That is pretty much like it, but just about a different topic.
And I'm a Western Bulldogs fan. The pod basically helped form my views each week on AFL, and I definitely learned a bit more about other teams. Well, St Kilda probably.
Yeah.
That's about it, because we don't know that much beyond our two teams. Keep up the great work, and thanks for all the laughs. Thank you very much, Carly, for that wonderful feedback.
Yeah, that Conchetta episode, if people haven't heard it, Conchetta's a brilliant comedian, but it is an excellent episode. She was very honest and open about a whole bunch of things.
This is the final one. We're going to finish on a Crack That Pack, which will lead in to our final experience with... Oh, for fuck's sake, Mike.
Crack That Pack.
I couldn't even...
It's my favourite bit of it now.
Pre-sell.
My favourite bit of it now
is him cutting me off with the jingle.
Thing. By the way, are we going to eat the orange cream?
We're going to do two at once.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I reckon we just finish
we'll
off.
Do two. Yeah,
okay, so Julie just wants to say... you reviewed TV snacks in your Crack That Pack segment, and we were trying to work out what the shapes of each TV snack was. I always thought the TV snack shape you were referring to was a spade, as in the playing card spade.
Oh, yeah, yep.
But who fucking knows?
No.
There's no... We'll never know. It's a mystery.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
It's a mystery. There's no way of finding out.
No.
I'm sure the information isn't
it's
easily available on the website.
How the pyramids built? What is that triangular shape in a TV snack?
Have you seen that, by the way? I know this is months old now when we're talking about this, but have you seen that Nick Kyrgios, Louis Theroux?
No, I've heard about it.
So, yeah, Nick Kyrgios is on Louis. It's one of those things that when you've heard about it, because I was the same as you, I'd heard about it and I'm like, I don't need to see this. I can imagine what this is like. But you've got to actually watch it because Nick Kyrgios's confidence that there is no way
humans could have built
it. Like, how do we do it, mate? How do we do it? Just explain to me how you do that.
He's asking Louis. Did Louis Theroux
why are the doors so big?
Any...
Tell me why the door. What was going through those doors that the doors needed to be that big?
And what was Louis saying?
Well,
just letting him talk. This is going to be great.
Just Louis was saying,
"Keep going,
my precious, more. Keep talking."
Curious is curious.
Yeah, it was.
So is he saying aliens built it?
Yeah, I think that's...
Oh, he didn't say it, but he's implying that there's no way humans could have done it.
Humans could not have done it, is what he's convinced.
I have seen some...
We can't even get along now, mate. How could we have built the pyramids? I don't know, with slavery,
What's
I think, probably.
Yeah, and elephants?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Elephants pulling heavy rocks? Anyway. Yeah. All right, Crack That Pack.
All right.
We're finishing off our
orange
tour
cream
of the unassorted creams. We have orange slice and shortbread cream to go.
Okay.
How are we going to do this?
Okay, so we should just try both and we'll just have half of each.
All right. How does that? We're going with shortbread cream first.
Okay. You eat your shortbread cream first. And I'm going to say the shortbread cream was pretty low on my rankings just because I just thought plain didn't really give me a lot.
I like it. That's my hot take.
Interesting. All right.
I actually forgot how good the shortbread cream. I love a shortbread. Gemma being Scottish, home of shortbread.
Course. Oh no, I love a proper shortbread.
Proper shortbread with a bit of granulated sugar on top is amazing.
Yep.
But I reckon that is a solid biscuit. In fact, I think it's going to climb up in my rankings
above
the Kingston, which I had at number 2.
Above the Kingston.
Yeah, I'm knocking Kingston.
You think this is above the? I haven't tried it yet. But...
Yeah, and you know why? I'll explain my reasoning. Is I talked about the Oreo having that great balance between bitterness and sweetness. I think the shortbread does that in its own way. Not as good as the Oreo, but I think a shortbread is just a bit kind of, I don't know what the word is, like tart or bland, but then the sugar comes in really nicely. Yeah, no, that's, I'm going to change my seedings. Well, my rankings, I'm going to change from my seedings and say that shortbread 2 comes in behind Monte Carlo. So number 2, shortbread cream for me. On my tier system, B, solid B.
I'm not as impressed by it as you are. For me, the ranking is still Kingston, Monte Carlo. But then, I think this could be 3rd place.
It's a good, reliable biscuit. If that was what was left in the jar, you'd still have them with a cup of tea.
I would say like a C+ or a B for me. Like, I don't think it's...
The only danger you have with this is if you had a real shortbread and they were side by side, it would be garbage.
Yeah,
You'd
garbage.
throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
You'd fucking yell at the packet, throw it against the wall.
No, I'd make it stare at the real shortbread and go, this is what you could be if you tried a bit harder. All right, okay.
All right.
And then this has been the most divisive conversation all day.
I'm not looking forward to this.
The orange slice. So Charlie's going to go first on the orange slice. And we'll just see how we go. We'll see if he thinks this is as bad as he, has been remembering the orange slice. So,
okay.
Oh, hang on.
Not as bad as I remember.
Okay. That's
First
good.
up, biscuit's a bit of an improvement on what... Does this look overcooked to you? It's very brown on the edges.
I like that it's brown on the edges.
Not as bad as I remember, but I don't give a shit about this biscuit at all.
Really? Still number 5?
Yeah.
Is it better or worse than the Delta Cream in your
opinion? That's a good point, actually. You know what? I think they're about the same.
Okay, interesting.
But for different reasons. The Delta Cream is just a nothing biscuit. That's kind of slightly offensive, but at least it's gone for something. The Delta Cream is, you know what I mean? Right? Rather swing for the fences and fail than just be a Delta Cream. So, orange slice, this is fucking controversial for me. I'm going to bump it up in the rankings. I'm going to put it at number 4. I'm going to take it out of last place, but barely. Just and it comes down to the fact that they're trying to, like, every other biscuit in this pack is just a regular sugar filling, and they've gone for orange, and I fucking hate it, and it makes me sick, but at least they've done it, and I respect that.
New order.
Oh,
I don't know if it is a new order from what I originally predicted. But there has been a change in the rankings.
Okay.
The hierarchy of the
biscuit universe is about to change.
So, Kingston, number 1, absolutely. Monte Carlo, number 2. In 3rd place.
Holy shit, not that high.
3rd place.
Wow.
In front of the shortbread, for me.
Oh,
for the reasons you said, like, it's distinctive.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to eat a packet of them.
I wouldn't even, yeah.
But I got to be honest, I'll probably finish this biscuit.
Okay.
And I thought that the other one was a bit plain, so I'm going to give that a B. And I'm going to, it's a 3rd in my rankings.
I'm going to give it a C-. A C-. So it passes, but barely. I appreciate the effort, though.
Now, this has been a bad day for the Delta Cream. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that was shocking coming into this. Yeah. I thought it would have at least...
I mean, how can you fuck up a chocolate biscuit?
It's really chocolate bizarre. They're not trying. I think that's the problem.
It's racism. That's what it feels like to me.
I think they're just coasting. They're coasting on the fact that it's chocolate and it's white.
That everyone will love a chocolate biscuit, and yet it's the most disappointing one.
They're riding on the coattails of the Oreo.
Yeah.
It's by association. You know
well, maybe it's that thing of going, the Oreo is so good and so successful.
It's the Rob Schneider.
I'm not even going to try.
Okay, let's, in terms of the Adam Sandler
the universe,
who is each biscuit?
All right, that's really good. So,
okay, so Adam Sandler, what did you say? You had the Kingston. We'll go with your ranking just so.
Well, Sandler feels like the Kingston to me, right?
Adam Sandler.
So you got your Sandler.
Chris Rock.
So is Chris Rock the next biggest star in the universe?
Potentially bigger in his own universe.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Monte Carlo. And Monte Carlo does feel like it could be its own universe. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, okay. Then what, like Kevin James?
Yeah. So is he an orange cream or is he a shortbread?
I think what's the most serviceable biscuit?
Feels like maybe that's the shortbread cream, isn't it? You Kevin
James. Who else is in the Schneider the Adam Sandler
We're
verse?
missing. We must be missing.
No,
somebody.
Kevin James, David Spade.
David Spade.
Oh, maybe David Spade's the shortbread.
Nah, I reckon David
Spade's
Spade's
the orange because
cream,
he does something different.
Yeah.
He's got that cynical kind of. All right.
Yeah, he's only got his own thing going on.
And that leaves Rob Schneider.
The old Delta cream, Rob Schneider.
It's the Delta cream.
Yeah, that works.
If you disagree with our ranking of the Arnott's assorted creams
as members of the Adam Sandler universe,
then you can write in and let us know how you rank Arnott's assorted creams and what members of the Adam Sandler entourage that they resemble. And that is TOFOP for this week. Go to comedy.com.au
for details on my tour, what you're talking about, Wil, touring all over Australia. Please come and see that.
And is it still worth encouraging people to watch Question Everything on iView?
Oh, yeah, please watch Question Everything on ABC iView. That would be fantastic.
And support the show by going to patreon.com/everyonerelax. That is TOFOP. I'm going to wait for Wil to stop chewing. I am Charlie Clausen.
And I'm Wil Anderson.